Back here at King Film Sports for a playoff picture review type video heading into week 15 of the NFL regular season. Only got 4 weeks left here, so we will hit up a playoff picture recap, and then I will be giving my playoff predictions for how I think the seeds and all the games will end up through the NFL playoff machine, so stay tuned for that. But first here, we recap the changes to the AFC playoff picture heading into week 15. So first here, Patriots hold on to the number 1 seed because they had a bye this last week, and they do get helped out by the Bills' loss to the Bucs. Now have a 2-game lead there. Titans beat the Jags, go up to 9-4 at the 2 seed. And then at the 3, the Red Hot Chiefs won 6 straight games here. Big win against the Raiders. They improved to 9-4. They might be gunning for this number 1 spot. Would not shock me there if they got it. And then the Ravens barely holding on to that division lead at 8-5. 2 costly division losses these last 2 weeks to the Steelers and the Browns. And now without Lamar Jackson for the foreseeable future, I mean, it is going to be tough for Baltimore to hang on to the AFC North there. Then at the 5 seed, you got the Chargers, who were looking a bit inconsistent over the middle of the regular season, but now Herbert and that Chargers offense are playing their best football of the season, it seems, and they have a big game on Thursday night against the Chiefs. If they can win that game, they leap into first place in the AFC West, so that will be a thrilling contest on Thursday night. Then Colts had a bye, but jumped into the playoff picture here, into the wild card 6 seed because of a few other teams losing. They have a difficult schedule here over the last month. I certainly do not see them winning the AFC South with the Titans, the 2-game lead, and the tiebreaker. But I think they will be a sleeper team in the playoffs, and they could cause some havoc with that lethal running game. Next, the Bills barely hang on to their playoff spot. Now 7-6. They got to go on a run here to make the playoffs. They still can win the AFC East, although it is pretty unlikely at this point. But they just got to play better football and win some football games. That's the reality at this point for the Bills. Then you see these 6 in the hunt teams. Got the Browns and Bengals battling for the AFC North. I think they're in the heat of it. I think either one of those teams could win that division. Broncos at 7-6. Playoffs aren't looking very likely for them. Steelers, that Vikings loss was very costly. The same thing with the Raiders. They've been on a downward trajectory. Miami off of a bye at 6-7. They could be a scary team, but they have to go on a big-time run here, and they've got a couple of division games between the Patriots and Bills over the last month of the season. So now we get into the NFC playoff picture, and we saw a huge change as the Packers now claim the number 1 spot after that Monday Night Football game where the Cardinals lost to the Rams. Packers 10-3, Aaron Rodgers playing well. They're a scary team. Then you got the Bucs beating the Bills. They're at 10-3 as well at the 2 spot. Very easy schedule down the stretch run here. And then the Cardinals lose that number 1 seed, and they might lose the NFC West outright. That's going to be interesting there. Rams now only down by 1 game to them. Then you got the Cowboys 9-4. They probably locked up the NFC East this last week with that win over Washington, although they do not look very impressive. So they do have some things to improve upon in this last month of the season. Then you got the Rams, as I already mentioned, 9-4, looking to take away the NFC West from the Cards. Niners looked like a decent wild card team. With that win against the Bengals, they separate themselves from the rest of the pack in the hunt category, so they're 7-6. And then we have a big 5-way tie at 6-7 for this 7th wild card spot. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see who ends up getting this spot. I think the team that gets this might be 8-9, 9-8. It could be any of these teams, to be quite honest. So we'll see who wants to win that spot in the weeks to come. So now we get into the NFL playoff machine to start with my predictions. Now here we have this upcoming week 15 here. And already, as you can see, a huge change here in the AFC. As in that Thursday night contest, I have the Chargers pulling off the upset, winning that game in SoFi Stadium. I think Herbert's going to have a big day. I think the Chargers win there and therefore take over the 2 seed. Also huge game. On Saturday, I have the Colts beating the Patriots. The Patriots do hold on to the 1 seed, but I do have the Colts winning there. So the Colts hold on to their wild card spot. And then the Browns take over the AFC North. I have them beating the Raiders on Saturday, and I have the Ravens losing, likely without Lamar Jackson. I have them losing to the Packers at home there. And then the Chiefs get bumped down to the wild card spot, and the Bengals hop into a wild card spot via their win against the Broncos. Then in the NFC, things pretty much stay the same here. Packers, Bucks, Cardinals, Cowboys, all the division leaders win this week. I have the Rams winning. I also have the Niners winning. And then we do have a slight change as I have the Vikings taking over the 7th seed because the football team, I have them losing in Philadelphia. So how the tiebreakers work out, the Vikings take that playoff spot for now. Next, let's get into Week 16. As I have in the AFC, the Chargers taking over the conference at 10-5. Yes, I have the Patriots sliding downhill here. I have them losing to the Bills, which pushes them down not only into the wild card, but to the 7th seed, barely in the playoffs. So Bills, I have them getting a huge win there. And then I have the Chargers winning against the Texans. So they take the 1 seed, as I mentioned. Tennessee, I have them winning, going to 10-5. So they keep the 2 seed there. Then the Bengals, they beat the Ravens. Big AFC North matchup, 9-6. And then some other things. I have the Colts upsetting the Cardinals. Big game there in Week 16. So that brings me into the NFC, where the Packers and Bucks get some distance on the Cardinals. I have the Packers winning there, staying on top of the conference. Tampa Bay, another easy game against the Panthers. I think they go to 12-3. I think it's really going to be between the Packers and Bucks down the stretch here for the 1 seed in the NFC. I have the Cowboys beating Washington again, and Cardinals slipped down, and now they are tied with the Rams, who are now 11-4. I think it's going to be an electric race to the finish for this NFC West crown. This is going to be a great run here for these two teams. Then the Niners, I have them retaining the 6th seed, losing to the Tennessee Titans in that Thursday night game. And then the Eagles now jump on top of that 7th seed, as I have them winning against the Giants in a divisional matchup there. So now they go into the 7th seed in the NFC. Next week, we get into Week 17, the penultimate week of the NFL season. Chargers stay on top of the 1 seed in the AFC via their win against the Broncos. You have the Tennessee Titans. I have them beating the Dolphins, staying on top of the 2 seed for them. Bills maintain their lead, and so do the Bengals. And the Chiefs, they're at 11-5, winning games here. But I just think it's that costly Week 15 contest against the Chargers that holds them back. Colts, I have them getting hot here, going to 10-6. And then the Patriots, I have them retain their spot at the 7th seed, beating the Jaguars there. In the NFC, things look the same as they did. Packers at the 1, 13-3. Bucks 13-3 as well at the 2. Cardinals, I have them beating the Cowboys here. That's going to be a big game in Week 17. So they now jump up to the 3 spot. Cowboys down to the 4. And the Rams put on the pressure, winning in Baltimore there. I just do not have a lot of faith in the Ravens down the stretch here without Lamar Jackson with their other injuries. So I think they're going to lose that one to the Rams. Then the Niners, 9-7, beating the Texans. And the Eagles, although they do lose to the Washington football team in Washington, I think they do hold on to the 7th seed there due to tiebreakers. And now we get into my final week of predictions here. This is what I think is going to be the final playoff picture at this point. So Chargers hold on to the 1 seed in the AFC, 12-5. Tennessee holds on to that 2 spot, 12-5 for them. And then the Bills and the Bengals hold on to their spots. Big here is I have the Bengals beating the Browns. I think that's going to be a division championship game in the AFC North, but in that one, I have to favor Cincinnati at this point, even though it is in Cleveland, and the Browns mopped the floor with them earlier this season. Then you have the Chiefs, great at 12-5, but losing out on the tiebreaker to the Bolts. Then you have the Colts sitting at 11-6. I have them winning all of their games for the rest of the season in this video. And the Patriots at 11-6 at the 7th seed. And the NFC, as it turns out, I have the Packers and the Bucks winning all of their games for the rest of the regular season. Packers claim the 1 seed at 14-3. Bucks 14-3. Cardinals, I have them maintaining the lead in the NFC West. They hold on, beating the Seahawks in the final week at 13-4. Cowboys have them winning the NFC East at 12-5. Rams finishing at a great 13-4, but barely lose out via the division tiebreaker to the Cardinals. Niners, 9-8 here, have them losing to the Rams, but they hold on to the 6th seed. And then I have the Washington football team. They started out this video, they start out heading into Week 15 as a 7th seed, and now they return to the playoffs at 8-9. Wow, they barely sneak in, beating the Giants, and then the Eagles lose to the Cowboys here. So that is going to be a big development over the course of the next few weeks. So I have the football team making the playoffs. So in the comments, let me know what you guys think of my playoff predictions. What are your guys' playoff predictions and analysis of the current playoff picture as it stands? As always, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.